Guys and girls, here's what I'm covering tonight. Number one, I'm going to cover 5 methodologies. Dialogues are incorporated and integrated to those, and I'm going to show you how to use those. These are many that I've learned from other great trainers, being Tom Ferry, David Knox. But most of this stuff is stuff that I actually used in a marketplace that is similar to what we're going in. Now, you better believe it, we are moving into a buyer's market. And a buyer's market requires a different skill set to the marketplace most of us were in, except, say, Perth, right? So for me, just like milk and cheese and bread have got use-by dates, so do some of the practices and the dialogues that we're using. And I'm letting you know, hi Karen Terry, I love looking at your Facebook. You do really good positive Facebook stuff. Now, let me move on and let you know, for me, the most important thing that you've got to be doing is getting yourself ready for the rebound. We know it's coming. We know that there was a group of people that have held up selling and buying due to the COVID-19 period. And that is coming towards its final stages. No one knows exactly, but what we do know is that auctions and open houses were one of the last things that actually sort of went down, and they'll be one of the first things that'll open up. So, guys, I'm letting you know that the first piece of dialogue that I'm going to share with you, I used to use in the Inner West all the time, was called the Drive-by Price Model. So you can use this technique. You can use this technique whether you want to use it as part of your listing presentation or you can use it for vendor management. And this is how it works. What you do is you take the vendor and you put it in your car. And of course, this is going to be something that you'll do when you're allowed to have people in your car, right? So what you'll do is you put the vendor in the car and you will drive by, and it's a bit like, guess what this sold for, right? So what actually happens is you go for a drive, you look at properties that have recently been sold, not properties that were sold like 3-6 months ago, because I'm telling you, they are not relevant comparable sales. And what you do is you say to the vendor, guess how much this sold for. And what happens is, generally speaking, the vendors would say it sold for higher than it did. And there's the education. So you do that for one property, then you do it for a second property. Guess what this one sold for? And then you do it for the third property. And then what happens is you come back and you actually say to the owner, based on that, where do you see your property fit into? And I'm letting you know, this technique was amazing because seeing is believing. And what they would do is realize as they were doing the pricing that they themselves had a fault in their pricing. And we used to call that the vendor error. So that is the one technique that I think is going to serve you right. And by the way, guys and girls, as I'm going through this today, I am letting you know that my real estate gym members are being enrolled this week into a 21-day program where I'm going to be going through all the scripts and all the dialogues and techniques needed for post-COVID-19. And I've assembled the best of the best. I've got Tom Ferry, I've got Dr. Fred, I've got, Gavin Rubenstein, Marty Fox, right? And there's 21 mentors, Jason Boone. But the most important part of the training is I'm going to be actually going through content that has not been out there on YouTube, has not been out there in the main arena. And those of you, in fact, what I might do is actually put this banner up here. Those of you that want to actually, if you're a gym member, you don't have to do anything. You're getting it. But if you're not a gym member, we've allocated a few hundred spots, and we said that we're going to allow these people to do it even though they're not a gym member, and it's going to be for 21 days. $97, and it starts on May the 4th. It starts on May the 4th, and I'm going to put on a banner here which is going to tell you where you've got to go to actually get it. So guys and girls, let me move on. Let me move on to script number 2. And script number 2 is what I call the lead horse script. The lead horse script. What I'm going to do is move that there, take that there, go back to comments. So the lead horse script is this. This is, again, a beautiful script to use and a technique to use on price alignments, repositioning prices on properties. And you're going to need that because I'm letting you know there's going to be 3 prices in this market price. There's going to be a vendor hope to get price. There's going to be a price that is called market value. And then there's going to be the buyer feedback price. And I'm letting you know that one of the key things to survive and thrive in this new marketplace is your ability to not list overpriced turkeys. A listing is either a liability or an asset. Now, if you're going to go in there and win listings the old way, which was copy and cut, you basically copy what another agent does and cut your fee, you're going to get smashed. Because in this marketplace, guys and girls, you've got to win the listing on process. You've got to win it on skill, because actually buying the listing is buying you a liability. And here is the technique. You basically, and you can use this at a listing presentation, but I used to use this a lot after I had the property listed and I wanted a price alignment. And I'm letting you know, if you want to get property sold now, you're going to have to get good at what I call SPR, significant price reductions. SPR, significant price reductions. And this is how this works. You sit down with a vendor and you say, Mr. and Mrs. Vendor, I got to let you know, like right now, you're on the market. And at the moment, you're actually not in the market, you're sitting on top of the market. And not only that, what is actually happening right now is the absorption rate in our marketplace is basically seeing 37 properties a month getting sold and another 150 staying on the market. Our job is to work out whether you want to be the ones that sort of stay or the ones that actually sell. Because if you don't make that decision, what you're being is a reference point to get other properties sold. That's what you're being. You're being used by other agents and other vendors to have their property sold by having a comparison to yours. So what I'd like to say, Mr. and Mrs. Vendor, is you to understand what I call the lead horse strategy. You see, if you're ever at a horse race, the horse at the front is the one that's got the clear view of what's in front. The other horses are looking at the back end of the horse. And what they're doing is they're chasing the horse. And I'm letting you know, in real estate, unless you're in front, you're always going to be chasing the market down. So the first property gets sold at that level, and then what actually happens is in a market that's sort of going down, that's challenging, you're chasing the market down. My recommendation to you is that you don't chase the market down and that you actually price accordingly so you are attractive in the marketplace and you're one of the ones that sell. And the reason why, Mr. and Mrs. Vendor, is the longer you stay on the market, the lower you sell for. Think about it. Milk at Woolworths and Coles. The longer it's there, the lower the price. It eventually gets discounted to get sold. And I want you to be selling while you're in the sweet zone, not in the stale zone. That is number 2. Let's move on to number 3. Number 3 is a very fantastic script and dialogue to be using at a listing presentation where most people are generally up against 2 or 3, some are 4. I mean, there are certain people that end up calling 10 agents out. I know what it's like, that occasional school teacher that creates an Excel sheet and actually puts 10 agents down and says, oh, he came in at time. And by the way, if you can't meet your time commitment in real estate, if you haven't even signed it up and you get to that listing presentation late, you know what you're saying to a vendor? This girl or guy hasn't even got us signed up and they can't stick to their words. What are they going to be like once we've actually got an agency agreement and we're tied up with them? So I've got to say to you, most people are going to go in to around to a presentation that has got 3 people going to it. And by the way, if you are enjoying this, guys and girls, Susan, can you do me a favor? Can you put the link in the comments? Can you put the link, the direct link for people to go in there and actually get the 21-day program? Okay, let me move on. This is how it works. Add a listing presentation. And by the way, gym members that are here, you do nothing. Do not go and buy. It's all good. You're set. Okay. So you're at a listing presentation. And you go in. And this is the dialogue that you've got to use to win a listing on process and beat those overpricing agents that come in and bullshit through their mouth about price. Here's how you handle it. Mr. and Mrs. Vendor, I'm curious, in selecting an agent, will you be picking an agent on the things the agent can control, like their process, their marketing, their database, like how they're going to go about it? Or will you be picking an agent on the things that they can't control, like the price that they just give you to make you happy today? What will you be doing in selecting an agent? You see, the way it works in real estate, Mr. and Mrs. Vendor, is there's a saying, which is that the biggest liar sometimes gets the job. You know what it's like? It would be like a real estate agent coming along to you saying, list with me, and I guarantee you, you're going to have 40 days of sunshine during your open for inspections and your whole marketing campaign. Would the real estate agent be able to control the weather? So think about it. A real estate agent does not set the market. The market sets the market. The best an agent can do is to influence the market. Guys and girls, powerful dialogue that one of my clients, Oliver Booth, in Melbourne, uses it and he loves it. And I've got to tell you, I have used that dialogue in my own real estate life. And we had an agent in Illawarra Road that used to go in and overprice things by 20%. And this is how we devastated him. Let me move on to number 4. Number four is what I call your vendor management strategy using what I would call the X-Ray approach. And the way the X-Ray approach works is this. And you can actually pull out an X-ray in front of a vendor. But I just want you to visualize this for a moment. Let me just have a quick beer. By the way, let me just tune in and see who we got on here. G'day, Taney, how you going? G'day, Josh, how you going? Mark Griffith. Now, Taney, you're going to help me out in the 21-day program, brother. I might get you to be part of the kickoff crew. So, Matty Pelios, how you going, brother? You've had an incredible week, I know. Johnny Manis. Okay. So, let's move on. The X-ray. So what you do is you're sitting there with a vendor and the vendor wants like 900. And you know what? The property, it's really only worth around 830. Here's how you handle that. What you do is you pull out an X-ray and you say, Mr. and Mrs. Vendor, can I ask you, if you went along to a doctor and you'd actually be, fallen off your bike and you'd hurt your leg, right? And there's an X-ray that's been done and you've come back with the X-ray to the doctor and the doctor puts up the X-ray up on the wall and has a look at it and says, I can see you've got a fracture in your leg. Would you get the shits with the doctor? Would you get the shits with the X-ray? Because I want you to understand what I'm about to do is actually show you a comparative market analysis of properties that have sold. And I want you to know that when I'm showing you that, that is really like an X-ray. That is the message. please don't shoot the messenger. I'm simply giving you an X-ray of real estate in your marketplace right now. And a lot of vendors, as you can see, I'm using a lot of, analogies, because that is the way people get influence and that is the way people understand. Let me move on to number 5. Number 5 is what I call the 3 prices. And the 3 prices are about a vendor who wants to, when a vendor wants to sell, they say, we need to sell for 800 because we paid 750 and the stamp duty was 720 and we had the solicitor's fees. We need that price. So what they're doing is they're valuing their property based on what is called the cost price. Now, I want to let you know, there are in fact 3 prices in real estate. There is what I call the cost price, there is what I call the ask price, and there is what I call market value. So the cost price is what it costs the owner. The ask price is what the owner is asking for. And market value is what the masses believe the property is worth in a fair and reasonable time. And I think what you've got to do is say to a vendor, I want to let you know, when your property hits the market, people are looking at the property and they're not looking at the cost that it cost you. They don't care whether you paid $750 or whether you had the home inherited for free. They don't make an offer based on that. They buy your home based on comparison. And I'm letting you know that your home is on the market in competition, not in isolation. So there is no correlation between your cost price and market value. Does this make sense? And guys and girls, I've got to say to you, this is giving you a taste of some of the content that we're going to be going through. I also want to let you know that for the next 3 Sundays, there will not be a Sunday night rant live. I will put on a premiere of something else, maybe a rerun of a good episode, but my energy is going to be with the 21-day group. We're going to be on the Real Estate Gym Facebook page, where we're going to be going through a lot of specific real estate content. So all I'll say to you is, those of you that want the Sunday night rant, you keep coming on here. But those that are in it for the real estate side, all that is going to be held for the next month or next 3 weeks on the Real Estate Gym closed page. And those that become members to the 21-day program, and all my gym members who are already members of that page, are going to be able to do the Sunday night rant at 8:30 at that time. Now, I just want to let you know a couple of other things before we finish off, and that is that for me, one of the main things I want to be covering in the 21-day program is this big confusion about prospecting, or whether to have a marketing model or whether to have the networking model. And I just want to go through it for a moment. Like, there's a big confusion on how many calls should you actually make, right? Should you be making 100 calls per day, 100 calls per week? So here's the situation. I want to tell you what you need to hear, not what you're going to like to hear. There is no exact right answer. And the reason is that in real estate, there are 3 models that seem to work. The first model is called the prospecting model. And that model is very much outbound. That model is very much about active and not passive. And that is all about doing massive amounts of connections with people. And that is a model that, say, Tom Hector uses, right? Now, the next model out there is what I call the marketing model. And the marketing model is about less prospecting, but still some prospecting, but it's complemented but very high attraction and marketing. And an example of that is Gavin Rubenstein and Marty Fox, who are both going to be mentors in the 21-day program. And for that record, so is Tom Hector on the prospecting side. But then you've got what I call the community networker. And that's the person that sort of really is right around, like, they're just everywhere in their local area. They sponsor the local community club. They're sort of, going to the Chamber of Commerce. and they're very in with a lot of the businesses, right? And as Sam Rodopoulos says, we've moved to a business that is, instead of being quantitative, it is qualitative. And I've got to tell you, as someone that worked through that era in the early 90s, it is a fantastic market, because when the listings start coming in, if you're the best agent in town, if you've got the best dialogue, best language, best process, best scripts, and you know how to create urgency when there's no urgency in the market, you suck up all the business like a vacuum cleaner, and everyone just sits there being stumped. They were the great days, and I'm letting you know they're coming. And I want you to know that these three models, the community networker, an example, Sonia Trelaw, Chris Hanley from Byron Bay is an example of a community-based type model. And I'm going to be covering all of those. So what I thought I would do, because a lot of people say to me, but Tom, how is this different? How is this different to other training stuff? Well, other training stuff that I'm seeing out there a lot is just sort of ad hoc throwing in there. This is structured. And I've actually got a system, a learning and development system that will actually be monitoring, and there's going to be accountability. That is the difference to this. The difference is it's structured. It is not a sugar hit for like one day. It is actually going to be progressive, experiential learning that includes 3 prospecting blitzes. That's right. During the 21 days, we're going to do 3 prospecting blitzes. And what that will entail is I will sit there and I will do a full prospecting scripts and dialogue session, what to say, who to call. And then what we do is we hit the phones, and then we come back, and what we do is we do an autopsy. So there's going to be 3 of those. And why? Because I want you to have this thing paid off through just one session, right? And I know that the prospecting bit is going to be the one that's going to give you the instant results. But let me just run through some of the things that are going to be covered. So, here we go. Scripts and dialogues to handle low offers from purchasers. That is a module in itself, because there's a lot of opportunistic people. We're going to show you how to get vendors to accept the reality of the marketplace and say, man, sell it. I'm selling. We're going to show you vendor management techniques that modern agents are using, like Shane Beaumont, when you don't have buyers that come to the property, on how you use digital inspections for vendor management and the reports you need to use. We're going to sit there and show you the ultimate sales creator, the buyer-seller match meeting. This is something that was taught to me by Charles Tarbey, so I'm giving him the credit. But this, during the recession in the 90s, was our sales creator. This is the toolkit we always went to when we needed, when it was the 20th of the month and we needed 3 sales to make sure that we at least break even, right? That's what we did. The next thing we're going to be doing is showing you how to overcome commission cutting agents that go in at low fees, because I'm letting you know that that is still going to happen. Why? Because people are getting desperate. And one of my goals is to make sure that you're not going to be one of the agents that's going to be exiting real estate, because I am letting you know that will be happening. It's really simple. People aren't going to hang around if they're not making like okay money. Those that have been sort of struggling, like, think about it. Who's going to struggle in this economy? Virgin, that hadn't made a profit for 10 years, was the first one that was going to get smashed. So if you're a marginal agent that's just been hanging by, like, I've got to tell you, you've got a short time to go pro, but realistically, things aren't looking good. The odds aren't on your side. Then we're going to talk about the 7 best letterbox drops, because I don't care what people say. Good drops still work. They're in some ways an ethical bribe that gets a call coming in. We're also going to show you how to get expired listings. I mean, like, we're going to give you the questions you've got to be sitting there talking to people about expired listings, like simple questions. Mr. and Mrs. Vendor, why don't you think your home has sold yet? What have you liked and what haven't you liked about the current agent's approach? Can I ask you, what do you think of the value of your property at this time? They're the sorts of dialogues that you're going to be getting taught for every component on real estate. And I'm letting you know, why have we priced it for $97? Because I know through technology I can deliver it. Even if it means that we're going to sort of have our eye on you through our learning development system, the fact that I'm not traveling means I can be super focused. And in addition to that, the reason we went there for $97 is right now we think people are suffering and there is a time that they need a bit of help. This is a time. We've worked it out at being less than $5 a day, and you'll have the program there for 30 days. You'll have it. If you miss a day, you don't stress because you can do it the next day. It'll take you on average 30 to 40 minutes per day, and that includes the mentor, the coaching segment, and a PowerPoint document that accompanies the training each day. That's what you'll be getting, and I'm letting you know you can have that on computer, on tablet, or on mobile phone. And in addition to that, we're going to show you all the social media stuff. And I've got to tell you, with 40,000 likes, I've got a resume that says I know what needs to be done on social, and I've never paid a single cent to buy a like. Guys and girls, I want to thank you so much for sitting through here. I want to let you know, I'm just going to put that up again. Put it up here. If you want to click on a real estate gym, there's a tab that says 21-day program. It's $97. Real estate gym members, don't do anything. Guys and girls, I hope you enjoyed this, half an hour webinar. And I'm super pumped. I'm going to see a lot of you in about 4 weeks' time. The rest, I'll be seeing you next Sunday in the Real Estate Gym Facebook page. Guys and girls, I'm signing off. See you soon.